for those of you that don't know me, my name's Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I have a business called the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy where I train parents or non-parents, but mostly parents, to become virtual bookkeepers so that they can work from home. Most of my students don't have any prior experience. I teach them what they need to learn and how to market, how to run their business, and how to do a really good job for business owners. And I provide ongoing additional support. One of the companies that we like to work with in order to help our clients even more is Nellie's company called CorpNet, where they offer entity creation, some legal type services across the entire United States. So we can help our clients fill in the gaps of their needs there. So Nellie, I'll let you give yourself a little bit better of an introduction.
Thank you so much, Tiff. Hello, everybody. My name is Nellie Akalp, founder and CEO of CorpNet.com. For those of you who don't know what CorpNet does, as Tiffany mentioned, we provide the most comprehensive, cost-effective services when it comes to entity creation, formation, and compliance. We provide incorporation, LLC filings, and incorporation compliance in all 50 states, including sales tax registrations, payroll tax registrations. And right now, as we're experiencing and going through these unprecedented conditions together, we're here to support all small business owners and all of you CPAs and accountants, and we are providing SBA loan assistance and facilitation with the SBA and third-party lender banks. So with that said, I'd like to open up the floor to any questions that Tiffany has for me.
Okay, yes. So let's start. I'll start with some questions that I gathered through the emails, and then I'll go through the chat box real quick. But we had a question from William, who runs a landscaping architecture company. Does the Paycheck Protection Program apply to owners of the company or just employees? We are a 50-50 ownership between two of our employees since we are an S Corp. The owners are employees.
Okay, I want to preface all the questions with the fact that CorpNet is not a law firm and we cannot provide legal, tax, or financial advice. So for purposes of all the questions and the answers to the questions that I'll be providing today, they will all be in general terms. So I'll hope that I have been able to help you in answering your question. However, if for some reason it's still not clear for you, feel free to reach out to me to nakalp@corpnet.com or to info@corpnet.com. However, in response to the question that was presented, the Paycheck Protection Program is a relief that has been created, and it's an extension of the current SBA 7A loan. And what it helps and eligibility for it is for any small business owner who has employees, 500 or fewer employees on payroll, and it's been in existence prior to February 15th of 2020. So for example, if a business owner has an S corporation and that S corporation has employees on payroll, that business owner can qualify for relief under the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, I want to take this a little bit further because of the fact that we get this question as well. If the owner of the S corporation, okay, is a shareholder of the corporation with no other employees, and that shareholder of that S corporation takes a draw but does not receive payroll or is not on payroll under that S corp, then qualification under the PPP is not allowed and they're not eligible.
Okay, next question from William was the forgiveness of the loans. What does that depend on and who makes that decision?
Excellent question. So here's a note about loan forgiveness. This is very important. Under the PPP, 100% of the amount that you qualify for and is funded to you is potentially 100% of it is forgivable. However, In order to get your PPP loan forgiven, not only do you need to spend at least 75% of the funds on payroll and the remaining 25% on rent, utilities, and mortgage interest, but you also need to prove these expenses and you need to provide documentation to your lender when requesting for loan forgiveness. And that request for loan forgiveness typically needs to happen within 60 business days of the loan origination with the SBA lender bank.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Are we able to find out if our loan forgiveness will be approved prior to accepting the loan in the first place?
That is typically a question that you would have to ask the third-party lender bank who you're working with directly. It is, you know, according to my knowledge right now and based on the information that we're receiving from our third-party lender bank that we're working with, that information is not available right now because they're so flooded with applications that they're trying to just process these applications and get funding to people.
Okay, awesome. Noticed he also said, last question, I noticed the loan is good for 8 weeks of payroll. Can the start of using loan money towards payroll be retroactive to a previous pay period that has passed already?
What I can comment on is the fact that the 8-week period typically must take place, which is also referred to as the covered period, and the funds that you receive as a result of the PPP need to be used within the 8 weeks following loan origination and cannot be made retroactive.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks, William. That was great questions. We've got a couple from Greg. And his question was, I was an independent contractor and my income went down $40,000 a year overnight. Am I entitled to any relief?
So a great question. In fact, he is in luck because the PPP program is available and the application process has opened up to independent contractors, and they are accepting applications for independent contractors and independent contractors are eligible to apply for the PPP program as of today, April 10th.
Okay, great. Jeff, you also asked that same question. So there you go. Definitely look into that.
And while we're on that subject, because you guys have some independent contractors watching this segment, I'm sure that the question is going to come up as to how do you calculate your loan amount as an independent contractor. So I want to go ahead and comment on that because that's a question that I've been getting, and I'm sure it's a question that's coming up often. So as an independent contractor, your 2019 income is considered to be the sum of all 1099 MICS forms you received, because this is what you pay self-employment tax on each year. If you have already filed your 2019 taxes, this will be added together already on line 31 of your 2019 Schedule C. If you haven't, not to worry, you can simply take that 2019 miscellaneous form you received in January and add them all together. That will give you the income number you need.
Awesome. Let's see. Gordon asked, can a business still apply for payroll protection if closed now to ensure when reopened? I figure a lot of people are probably in that position.
So generally speaking, the Paycheck Protection Program is designed to help small business owners who've had employees to get back on their feet and to re-employ those employees if they've closed down. So according to the SBA, yes, you can qualify as long as you've been in business and you can prove that you had employees on payroll as of February 15th, 2020 and prior.
Okay, awesome. So Pam and Jeff, I think both of your questions were answered, but if not, please let me know and we can readdress those. Let's see, Lisa, as a single member LLC with no W-2 employees, am I entitled to apply for? She has a bed and breakfast. So yes, so you answered that question.
Yes.
Yep. And let's see, Jeff also says, he said, I meant paycheck protection plan through SBA. I'm an S Corp. I think we answered that one as well. I've got Nellie's email address in there as well if you guys need to check it. Lisa said, sorry, what I should have said that I have a seasonal W-2 employee only during the summer.
Seasonal the Paycheck Protection Program also applies to seasonal employees as well. There are obviously certain requirements for that, which is a case by case, but you're able to apply for the PPP loan. You would have to just provide documentation and a cover letter to the underwriter explaining.
Okay, great. And David, let me know if your question about 1099 subcontractors didn't get answered. I think it did. Derek says, I am a carpenter. I have a DBA and a business banking account. I am not incorporated. I am the only person working in the business. I do not use a payroll company. I earn 85% of my income between May and September. Do I qualify for PPP, and how will the PPP determine my weekly salary as it varies significantly from month to month?
Okay, so great question. For this individual, according to the SBA, they should not only apply for the EIDL and the EIDL loan advance, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Loan Advance, but they should also apply for the PPP, because the PPP is a 100% forgivable loan, and they can potentially, not have to pay back any of that loan. For a sole proprietor, who's someone who is self-employed, your 2019 income is your sole proprietorship's net profit. So if you've been taking draws out of the business to serve as a regular income, this will not be included in your payroll calculation. This is because you pay self-employment tax, which is based on your net profit only, not your member drawing. So you'll find your 2019 net profit listed either on your annual income statement at the very bottom, or on line 31 of your Schedule C if you have a 2019 tax return. And if you don't have a 2019 tax return, then you can use your 2018.
Okay, great. Awesome. So that kind of leads me into a question I have for you regarding financials. So in order to apply for these loans, they need to at least have their 2018 tax return done, correct?
Yes, I want to share my screen with you if possible, so I can go over these slides that I have.
Okay, yeah, that'd be helpful.
And then what I can do is actually, can you see them?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so, sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so let's see here. So this is a great slide deck that I've created for the CARES Act. It's a hands-on workshop for relief options that are available to small business owners. That's me. I don't want to go through who I am. You can read about it. Part of this webinar that I just did for CPA Academy, we covered all of these bullets, which was the CARES Act, available small business programs, Paycheck Protection Program, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the grant. So what I want to do is I actually want to go down to the 3 main programs, because what I've done here is I've highlighted exactly what each program is and a summary of this. You can see the PPP, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the Economic Injury Grant. What I've also done is broken down each program for the applicant here, so you can kind of get an overview, who's eligible expenses covered for the PPP, what qualifies as payroll costs, how can PPP loans be used, a lot of detail on here. What about exclusions, and what is expressly excluded from the definition of a payroll cost? What about independent contractors? And I can make this slide deck available to you to share with your audience as well. I think I actually sent it over to you. I'm not sure, but if I haven't, I can. And then I've also created examples here of how to calculate the PPP loans, because there will be an overlap for somebody who applies for both the PPP and the EIDL, because if for some reason they don't qualify or get approved for the economic injury disaster loan, but they get that loan advance becomes a grant, okay, that $10,000 loan advance. However, if they get it as a grant and they qualify for the PPP, that 10,000 will be deducted from the portion of the PPP that's approved to be forgivable. So all of these examples cover those as well. And what you'll need to apply for a PPP loan is what you wanted me to cover, which is these bullet points right here.
Okay, great.
So generally speaking, you're going to need to complete the PPP application. You can complete that PPP application by going through your bank. If you are a small business owner listening into this Facebook Live, you can do it directly through your bank if you have an existing banking relationship with your bank. I know that most of the larger banks do provide this program in the form of a relief. However, they also have added additional requirements as to how, as to providing this assistance. For example, if you are a client of B of A's, B of A, in addition to you being their client, they require that you have an online business banking portal, you have a business checking account, and you also have a business banking credit card, and they require you to at least be a client of theirs for 6 months. Wells Fargo, from my understanding, has bowed out of the program. Chase is no longer accepting applications. So, there's a lot of the larger banks are no longer wanting to participate, or they're up to their limit. So for that reason, the smaller banks are still accepting applications, and we, as a third-party SBA loan packager, are also assisting small business owners and accountants and CPAs, representing clients with the preparation and facilitation of submitting the PPP loan application to our third-party bank lender. However, at the end of the day, we can't guarantee anything. We can't guarantee if your application will be approved or funded, as we're at the mercy of the government.
Okay, great. I've noticed quite a few questions coming in about people that have applied, but they haven't received any response. Do you have any idea on what people should expect from that?
Well, generally, if it depends who you've applied through. I mean, if you have a banker that you're working with, get on the phone with them and try to find out where they are in the process. As far as we're concerned, and with our third-party bank lender, what we're being told is that once we get all the documentation, and once the client applies for the PPP loan through CorpNet, we receive that application, we review it for accuracy, and if they've uploaded all their documents, then we'll facilitate review for accuracy and then upload it to our third-party lender's site. And then from that point forward, it'll take them about probably 7 to 10 business days to review the application, make sure all the documentation is in place. And then what they're telling us is that, the application will be assigned to a processor, an underwriter, and then the underwriter will be in touch directly with the client. And typically what they're telling us is with the PPP loan, it's taking anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks to see funding.
Okay, great info, great info. Did you want to go through any other slides, or you want to go back to questions?
Whatever you like, Tiffany, I'm here for you. So if you guys have a lot of questions, we can just answer the questions, and depending on what that question is, I can toggle back and forth between the slides.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we've got a handful of questions in the Q&A and then quite a few in the chat. So
okay,
skim through the Q&A real quick.
Yeah, and also I just want to mention, for those of you who just came on, if you have questions and if we're not able to cover it during the segment, Again, Tiffany is a partner of CorpNet's.
Mhm.
Tiffany's clients work with Chelsea Bulletin, who's the dedicated account manager at CorpNet. If you're interested in partnering with CorpNet, all you need to do is contact us at 888-449-2638. Ask for Chelsea Bulletin, who is the dedicated account manager, processing all of and assisting all of Tiffany Higgins's clients. And you can partner with us not only whereby we can become your silent fulfillment partner in providing assistance to your clients with incorporation, entity formation, business expansion, foreign qualification, sale and payroll tax registrations in all 50 states. But as a result of this pandemic and COVID-19 crisis that we're in right now, we can also partner with you and help you help your clients with all of these SBA relief options that are available. So if you're not a current partner, simply go online to the corpnet.com website, apply as a CorpNet partner, reach out to Chelsea Bulletin. You can just simply email us to info@corpnet.com and say, hey, I'm from Tiffany Higgins' side. I'd like to talk to Chelsea. You can also reach out to Chelsea at extension 109. So we're here to help you. And if you're an accountant, CPA listening in to this Facebook Live, this is your time. You should not be on the couch. You should not be eating potato chips and watching TV. This is your time to be helping your clients and adding these services and offering these services to your clients, because this is the time your clients are depending on you more than ever. You can be charging for these services. You can charge for your time as a CPA, as a tax professional, in providing packaged services to your clients for information gathering, consultation, advice. You cannot charge for the PPP loan app. It's against the law. According to SBA requirements, our fees would be paid on the back end by the lender and covered by the SBA. However, as an accountant CPA, you can charge for your time in consulting with your clients. And this is a great time to not only reel in clients in helping them with these services, but also thinking long term, thinking recovery, thinking, okay, what happens when we get these funds, and helping your clients with cash flow management in the long run.
Yep, absolutely. So there is a couple people asking about the cost for emailing Chelsea and getting help applying for these loans. Do you want to go over the cost for the two different options?
Absolutely. So if you guys are interested in getting assistance, we offer assistance with applying for the economic injury disaster loan, which includes the economic injury disaster loan advance. That we do charge a fee. Our fee is $349 per application. If you'd like it fast-tracked and expedited, you can request for expedited processing within the CorpNet office for an additional $150, which would take it up to $499. For the PPP application loan preparation and submission, there is no upfront fees that we charge. The applicant won't have to pay for our services. If the loan is approved, we expect to be paid an agent fee by the lender bank. So if you go to the CorpNet website and if you apply for the Paycheck Protection Program loan, we are not charging any upfront fees for this. Again, for both services, you are not required to go through CorpNet. You are not required to use our services. You can go directly to the SBA.gov website and apply for the economic injury disaster loan and loan advance. And in fact, you can go directly through the SBA and get assistance as to how to apply for the PPP loan. However, that said, the SBA will direct you to a third-party SBA lender for the PPP portion of it.
Okay, awesome, great. So, okay, I'm gonna go back to a few questions. So Paul asked, I'm a small business and officer of corporation, applied for 10,000 PPP and unemployment, but nothing. What about unemployment for a corporate officer? Do you know anything about that?
As a corporate officer, they're actually eligible to apply for the PPP. Again, I can't give advice, but I think he should look into look into seeing if he can apply for the PPP, because from my understanding, if he's not paying himself on payroll, he cannot get unemployment because he hasn't been paying for unemployment insurance.
Okay. Heather asked a question about, are we allowed to combine the PPP loan and FFCRA? Do you know anything about that?
I don't, unfortunately. I would recommend her to go to the U.S. Treasury website, and there may be more content on that, or search online. But remember, when you search for this stuff, go with the established sources. Like look and read the content that's given by SBA or the U.S. Treasury.
Okay, great. And Paul asked the difference between draw and payroll for this instance. Payroll would be something that is actually on a W-2 issued with payroll reports and payroll taxes paid.
Correct.
All right, great. And a draw would just be, the owner taking money out of the business outside of payroll.
That is correct.
Okay. Does a single member of an LLC who takes draws versus payroll check with no employees qualify? So that would be the 1099 answer.
Generally speaking, an LLC, okay, and the member of an LLC, which is a regular LLC, okay, cannot place themselves on payroll according to the regular, requirements of an LLC. Okay. However, if that LLC is taxed as an S corporation, and under the S corporation taxation, the members are on payroll, that would qualify them and make them eligible to apply for PPP and use their average monthly payroll times 2.5.
Okay.
Come up with that one amount.
So a single member LLC that is not taxed as an S corp, has no employees, they would fall under the sole proprietor 1099 contractor?
Correct.
Great. Let's see, I'm a C corporation and pay myself a salary with all the deductions. Can I apply to a PPP, and how about the grants instead of a loan? So C corporations fall under the same.
C Corp, S Corp, if you don't have anybody on payroll, then it would be treated as what we just covered.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. What if we applied for the PPP loan and the emergency disaster? We received an approval for the PPP from our bank, but nothing from SBA regarding disaster.
So then you're lucky, and I would say congratulations to you, because for the PPP, it's 100% forgivable if you qualify and if you use the funds within the 8 weeks following loan origination and maintaining that 75-25% ratio. In addition to, if you don't, let's say down the road you get a notice from the SBA where your economic injury disaster loan was not approved, they're going to still give you whatever you qualify, up to 10,000 for the grant, and that will come to you online from the U.S. Treasury, and then whatever you receive in the form of a grant will be deducted from the amount that is forgivable under the PPP.
I imagine I know the answer to this question, but let's see. What if you are a 1099, but you're not a citizen, so you have an ITIN number instead?
From my understanding, you need to be a U.S. resident or a citizen. You need to be a resident alien or a U.S. citizen here.
Okay. Let's see, does it matter how much revenue we're bringing in to be eligible for forgiveness?
I don't believe that's a well, let me rephrase that. What are we talking about? Are we talking about PPP or EIDL?
Good question. Yep, she doesn't specify. Kristen, if you want to specify that question, she mentions her business is seasonal and many pay upfront for the whole season in April.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, she said for PPP.
Ah, okay. So the PPP, does she have employees or no employees?
Let's see, Kristen, you want to comment on that? Let me look back through your question. Our company is seasonal part-time landscaping. So I imagine, yes, employees.
So again, the general rules apply for employees, and I'm going to go back up to, you know, how you can calculate for the PPP loan and what falls under. Generally speaking, it's seasonal or not, you take the average times it by 2.5 and add in any type of insurance premiums, any type of retirement plans, 401k, any type of employee benefits, and that becomes your amount. That the number times 2.5 would in essence become your loan amount.
Okay. Nikki asks, can a business owner apply for the loan just for herself since her employees are already on unemployment? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, the economic injury disaster loan and loan advance and the PPP are available to any small business owner who's been in business prior to January 31st of 2020. And if they happen to have employees, those employees have to have been on payroll on or before February 15th, 2020. However, there is exceptions, and even if a small business owner does not have any employees, if they're self-employed or if they're an independent contractor, they can still apply and qualify for the PPP loan.
Okay. Can you just reiterate real quick, if somebody is a sole owner of an S Corp, so the only employee is just the owner, how does that work?
If it's a single man S corporation, and if that S corporation has been in business prior to January 31, 2020, and that shareholder of that S corporation has been actually on payroll and receiving a W-2, then they can qualify for PPP.
Okay, awesome. Gordon says he applied through SBA, so who will they hear from on the EIDL?
Great question. So generally speaking, once you submit a successful application to the SBA.gov site for the EIDL and the EIDL loan advance, you should have received an email confirmation with your application number. If you want to check on status, you can either contact the SBA help desk directly, or if you go to the SBA.gov website, there is an email that you can email to asking for status.
Okay, great. Janice says she's a landlord and has just started losing tenants who've lost their jobs. Are they eligible for assistance?
She is a landlord, and I would probably say check with your state, and I would ask for her to go directly to the SBA and check if landlords qualify. But if she's losing income and as a result of this pandemic, then generally, yeah, she may qualify.
Okay. Gordon just wants to know, what is the $10,000 grant?
The $10,000 grant is part of the economic injury disaster loan. Okay, so I'm going to go to that. So this is the economic injury disaster loan advance, which is an expanded version of the SBA loan 7B and falls under the 7B SBA loan. Basically what this is that when you're applying through the SBA.gov for the economic injury disaster loan, as part of this loan, the SBA is offering a loan advance of up to $10,000 to small businesses who need an immediate influx of cash, okay? These are available to businesses and nonprofits that apply for the economic injury disaster loan. The timeline for the economic injury disaster loan approval and disbursement may take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. And the goal of that immediate loan advance is to provide a rapid funds advance within several business days of the EIDL application being submitted to the SBA. Now, how much up to $10,000 an applicant can get approved is completely up to the SBA's discretion. At one point, they were saying you'll get these funds, this loan advance, within 3 business days. And to be honest with you, we applied last Sunday night. We still haven't seen it for ourselves, but we keep checking and they're saying it's on its way. And they're processing checks. The reason why they've taken so long is because there's been so many requests that they're inundated with requests, and they're just trying to process these apps.
Okay, great. For the loan matter, is the personal credit score something they take into consideration?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm still a bit confused. I guess my other question may be, if I don't usually turn much of a profit, how could I utilize the PPP if I have to use 75% of it towards payroll? What is my payroll? I'm not sure what she means there.
Let me try to dissect it. I think what she's trying to say is, maybe, I'm guessing here, but I think the question is, what if I can't use 75% of the PPP loan amount towards payroll? And the answer to that question is that portion of it that is not up to 75% and hasn't been used for payroll will actually not be able to qualify for forgiveness and will become a loan that has to be repaid back over 2 years at a fixed rate of 1%.
Okay, let's see. Tori says we didn't get a confirmation email, so I called and the guy on the phone said that we were confirmed if we had the number beginning with a 3 at the end of our application. He said they were backed up and many people weren't getting emails yet. Is this the experience of others?
That is correct.
Okay. What if an employee quits outside of COVID while we are paying their payroll via the PPP loan? Is that payroll considered unforgivable?
When it depends when they quit.
Okay.
And are they willing to come back? You know, did they quit on their own, or did they quit as a result of something that happened? I mean, you know.
Yeah. If they quit within that 8 weeks, she says.
Then if they quit within that 8 weeks, then the forgivable portion will be reduced by the amount of that employee's pay.
And even if it was on their own with personal issues?
Well, yes, but the whole goal of this whole, you know, relief is to maintain payroll. So, you know, I think an argument can be made to that effect, and truly it's up to the lender to consider that part forgivable or not forgivable.
Okay. Let's see. So if Gordon, if you didn't get an email confirmation, check and see if you have that number on your application, and then maybe try to give them a call. And then what is considered payroll when there is no W-2? If you are a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, then the payroll would be your 1099s.
That is correct. So calculating your loan amount as a sole proprietor, it's your 2019 income is the sole proprietor's net profit, okay? And for independent contractors, it's the aggregate of all your 1099 the 1099 miscellaneous forms.
Okay, awesome. So Susie had questions about whether or not she qualifies. It looks like she might have, Susie, do you have a corporation? Are you an S Corp, a C Corp? She says she only draws an income based on profit, so it isn't consistent.
So I would probably assume Susie is a sole prop.
Okay. So then what we just covered, the income would be what you would go off of.
The sole proprietor's net profit would be what you would go
Net
off.
profit, okay. Okay, Susie, she said she's an S Corp, so S Corps need to be on payroll. So as an officer of an S Corp, you need to be on payroll. So if you're not, you need to reach out to your tax person or your bookkeeper or holler at me if you need help with that, because you have to be on payroll. So let's talk about that. Let's see. Are the grants or forgivable portions of PPP taxable income?
They're not. They're not taxable income if it's forgiven.
Awesome. Okay, Pam says, my husband is a one-man carpenter LLC. He does not take a paycheck. He takes the profit of a job when complete from the business account. He has been filing taxes as self-employed. Net profit income, not 1099. He has no resale, medical, mortgage, etc. for the business. Does he qualify for PPP, EIDL, or unemployment or anything? We do not know what to do. Our bank is no longer accepting applications or even meeting with small businesses at this point. And our state has not updated their unemployment information for self-employed yet.
Okay, so by default, a single member LLC is taxed as a sole proprietor, okay? So the way, again, I want to preface this by the fact that, you know, CorpNet is not a law firm. We cannot provide legal, tax, or financial advice. So for purposes of this Facebook Live, everything that I'm saying here is based on general guidance, and you should absolutely consult with your tax or legal professional. For purposes of calculating your loan amount as a sole proprietor, because a single member LLC by default is taxed as a sole prop, your 2019 income is the sole proprietorship's net profit. So if you've been taking draws out of the business to serve as regular income, this will not be included in your payroll calculation. This is because you pay self-employment tax as an LLC, which is based on your net profit only, not your member drawing. So you will find your 2019 net profit listed either on an annual income statement at the very bottom or on line 31 of your Schedule C if you have a 2019 or 2018 tax return.
Great. Okay, Carrie, she asked, as a sole proprietor, how can cash income be accounted for if there is no 1099 to verify? So since you are going to use the net income figure at the bottom of your Schedule C, you're going to have the cash income accounted for at the top of it in your revenue. So there we go. Okay, moving on to the chats. So that was just the Q&A.
Wow.
You guys are awesome. Okay, let's see here.
And for those of you guys who are just coming on, my name is Nellie Acap, CEO and founder of CorpNet.com. We're doing a Facebook Live with Tiffany Higgins. Tiffany, thank you so much for having me on. And we're basically just doing a live Q&A as to all the relief options that are available through CorpNet and CorpNet.com for small business owners, obviously affected by this horrendous pandemic crisis that we're all experiencing together.
Yes, awesome. Okay, just kind of going down through some of the chat questions. Nelson, the loan is going to take your credit score into consideration. And correct me if I'm wrong. Lisa asked, what about additional income that a 1099 was not received for? I think we just answered that. Let's see, got Pam's question. Let's see. I think, Jeff, I think we got your question answered about the draws. Isn't a requirement. So Nancy says, isn't a requirement for getting any assistance only if you have lost income. I'm an S Corp. I pay myself a salary, but as of now, I have only lost one client, but I don't know what the immediate future holds. Will we be entitled to anything if something happens to our business in the coming weeks? That's an interesting question.
Here's what I say, guys, is if you're a small business owner and if you have not applied for any of these relief options available to you, you better get on it and apply, because honestly, it's all up to the SBA's discretion and it really behooves you not to apply. You should apply, because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen is you just get, rejected for funding. So in my opinion, either use our services and guidance and let us apply on your behalf for a minimal service fee, or go directly to the SBA.gov's website and apply for this types of disaster relief available to you.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of people paying, up to $2,500 for help on getting these applications in, and Nellie's offering it for $349. So it's really helpful. We're, just trying to do it to help people get this done. Of course, like she said, you can go right to the website and do this all yourself. I personally just felt like it was easier for myself to just apply right through CorpNet, because then I don't have to spend so much time figuring it all out. So, she's offering something there to help expedite the whole process for you. But I think, in the end, you should just be applying for it, whether you use CorpNet or you do it yourself on the SBA.gov website. So
exactly. And what I have here on the screen for you is our tools and resources as it relates to the disaster relief loans available through the SBA. As you can see, when you go to the homepage of the CorpNet.com website, you access it by going to www.corpnet.com. Right up the top, as you can see here, you can apply directly and it will take you to this page, which is the SBA loans page. And then from there, you could see right up, there's two buttons: coronavirus disaster loan, EIDL, which is the economic injury disaster loan, and the disaster loan advance that you can apply for through CorpNet. We do charge a minimal service fee of $349 per application. And we can even offer expedited processing of that application through the CorpNet office. Once it gets submitted to the SBA, we no longer have any control as to how fast the application will get processed. But what we can guarantee is that when you submit your order through us, if you want it processed same day or the next day, we can offer those services to you. In addition, we do offer the assistance of helping you facilitate and submit a PPP loan application to our third-party lender. From what I heard from one of the questions on this Facebook Live is that one of the questions was our bank is no longer accepting these types of applications. You can absolutely go through us. We are partnered with an SBA third-party lender. Again, there is no guarantees whatsoever, but what we are seeing is that our third-party lender bank is processing these applications because they are strictly focused on processing these PPP applications, and they're still accepting these PPP applications. For the Paycheck Protection Program loan application, we are not charging any fees to you as the applicant up front. You as the applicant won't have to pay for our services. If the loan is approved, we expect to get paid an agent fee by the lender bank.
Awesome. Okay, Carrie asks, can businesses apply for both the PPL and the EIDL?
The answer to that question is, according to the SBA, if your business has been in existence prior to January 31 of 2020, and you've had people on payroll on or before February 15, 2020, then the answer is yes.
Okay, let's see. Reading through, what about Megan and several others have asked, do nonprofits qualify?
Nonprofits do qualify according to the SBA for both the EIDL and the PPP.
Okay.
And again, all the qualifications and eligibility will be part of this slide deck that I can send over to Tiff. And Tiff, you can share it with the audience.
Yeah, I will send a follow-up email after this is over with a link to download these slides and a link to watch the video replay as well. So let's see. I want to make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Let's see. Derek mentioned he's on the board of directors of a 501c3. We're a dance organization and have canceled all of our upcoming events. I think you just answered that nonprofit one. Okay. If you don't need all the money, there are no prepayment penalties. Is that correct?
For the economic injury disaster loan, if they decide to repay that loan back prior to when it's due or prior to when the payments start having to be repaid, you can pay it back and there is no prepayment penalties. And neither for the economic injury disaster loan or the PPP.
Okay. Kristen says, still concerned about the revenue that we bring in for the month of April, which is money paid for upfront for lawn season contracts that go through the end of October. So she's afraid that money sitting in the bank will be questioned when they go for forgiveness.
Well, that's when you as the applicant have to send a cover letter explaining this. And you have to say that because of your business being seasonal, again, I'm not a CPA. I mean, really, you know, you, Tiffany, are in a better position to answer this, but from a reasonable standpoint, I would say that income that's prepaid has to be divided within the months that it's covered and only include that portion of it that, you know, it can be accounted for, and also supplemented with a cover letter to the underwriter explaining this.
Yeah. Okay. Pam asked or said, neither our business lawyer nor our accountant are considered essential businesses. They are shut down right now. Well,
actually,
if you
that's not correct. That's not correct, because lawyers and accountants are considered essential services and they are exempt from the stay-at-home orders.
Yeah, and most of us are working.
I happen to know that because my husband is an attorney, and I also happen to know that because I work with my accountant who is working as we speak, and you're working as well, and many accountants. So my suggestion to you is I think you should change your accountant or your lawyer.
That's what I was going to suggest. So Heather says, can you please share the SBA email that we need to check loan status? Do you know if, is that just on SBA.gov?
Yes, it's on the SBA.gov economic injury disaster loan website. And, you know, I can also send it over to you guys and have you post it on the show notes after we end.
Awesome. Lily says, my bank is still not ready to provide PPP. What should I do? She should go to your website, correct?
You should go to my website and you should consider applying through our website. Again, you're not required to, but we do offer it. Also, this question often comes up, which I want to address. We're getting the question of, can I apply to multiple banks and see which one processes my PPP loan application quicker? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. You cannot apply to multiple banks. You need to go with one. And the reasoning behind this, the rationale, is because there's no double dipping. And right now, the SBA is so flooded with these influx of applications that there is no system of checks and balances in place.
Awesome. Yeah, that kind of goes perfect to our next question from Kristen. She said she has a friend who's a contractor. He filed for unemployment. Can he still file for the PPP? He feels like that would be double dipping.
I don't think so. No, I don't think that's double dipping, because according to what we're seeing out there in the interim rules and all the content that's under the statute, you can apply for unemployment and PPP if one is eligible.
Okay, awesome. Let's see, Surani, I think we answered your question, but let me know if you didn't hear it. Lisa says, so you divide line 31 of your Schedule C by 12, then multiply by 2.5.
That is correct.
Awesome, great. And Stephanie commented her office is still working, but we are working remotely, so I'm assuming she is an accountant.
Great.
Okay, I see 3 more questions. Let's see. Are bookkeepers ever considered agents if assisting with the PPP for our clients?
Any type of bookkeeper, consultant, CPA, accountant, you're considered an agent, okay? And for the actual preparation and submission of the PPP application, you are not allowed to charge a fee up front. However, as a bookkeeper, accountant, you are allowed to charge for your time in preparation and assembly of all the information that goes within the PPP application. We're not charging for it, okay, and we're not going to. However, I do know that many CPAs, accountants, tax professionals are charging, and they are charging for a package, and they're including the PPP preparation and submission free of charge as part of the package, okay?
Awesome. Okay, so last question. Suryani says, I read that the PPP also accepts sole proprietor who has no employees. And yes, that is true. You will have to use the line 31 of your Schedule C to figure out that number. So again, you guys can go to CorpNet.com and apply there if you want help with this. So Kristen says, thanks so much, ladies. Love this. Help to answer all of her questions, and happy Good Friday.
Thank you so much. Oh, yes, it is Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to all of you. Again, it's been a pleasure being on this live session with Tiffany Higgins and all of you. For those of you who've joined late, my name is Nellie Akalp. I am CEO and founder of CorpNet.com. CorpNet provides entity creation compliance services in all 50 states. We provide the most comprehensive, cost-effective services, and we can help you help your clients when it comes to entity formation, management, and compliance. Many of you who are representing clients right now and who your clients may be applying for PPP loan assistance, you guys may need to show proof of articles of incorporation, articles of organization, or may need to apply and obtain a certificate of good standing from your state. We can assist you with all of that. We're here to help you help your clients with all these services in all 50 states. And we work with accountants, CPAs, enrolled agents. We have a ton of partners that we work with as a result of our relationship with Tiffany Higgins. In fact, Tiffany has a direct agent at CorpNet. Her name is Chelsea Bulletin. You can reach out to her. Chelsea is available Monday through Fridays from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can reach out to Chelsea at extension 109 by calling 888-449-2638. You can also email Chelsea to cbulletin, that's C as in Charlie, B as in boy, O as in Oscar, L as in Larry, O as in Oscar, T as in Tom, I, N as in Nancy, at corpnet.com, and she will be right back to you. Partnering with CorpNet, as I mentioned to you, we have 2 partner programs available. You can partner with CorpNet as a resale partner and get wholesale discounted white label pricing of up to 30%, or you can become a referral partner and refer your clients to us and receive a 20% commission on each sale. So I've listed all the bullets and the highlights of the program here. For those of you who are currently a partner, we're also white labeling our SBA loan services to you as well. check it out, reach out to Chelsea and find out how you can help your clients. For those of you who are not a CorpNet.com partner, go to corpnet.com/partners and check out our programs that are available to you. You can also participate in both as a reseller and a referral partner. The program is very flexible. There's no upfront fees. There's no annual fees. There is no initiation fees. It's a pay-as-you-go service. So check it out, corpnet.com. And it's been a pleasure being here with all of you. And I really, really look forward to seeing everybody at the other side. And let's all just pull in together and have faith. I mean, we're going to come out of this great. But this is a moment in time. This is an opportunity for all of us to look at this and see, okay, how am I going to react? This is a test. It's a test for all of us, and especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs, to really see if we can make it and really win it. Are we in it to win it? So best of luck to all of you, and I look forward to assisting all of you if you choose to check out corpnet.com.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you so much, Nellie, for being on here. And everybody watch for an email. I'll give a link to this replay and a link to the slides. And just feel free to respond to the email if you have any questions, and we can get you the information you need. All right, have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.